All right, everybody.
Oh, hello, guys. This is, what's interesting is that the podcast went from really fun, and we just had a great conversation with DJ Step.
Super
Uh,
positive.
Super positive, very optimistic, and what a perfect, uh, sort of synopsis of the this U.S. World Cup cycle. Because wow, it started off like you know maybe optimistic. Jurgen Klinsmann was around. We thought we thought we were gonna be doing really well at the next World Cup, and now we're miserable. We're miserable people. But you know what? Let's applaud DJ Step for coming on the show because he is a great dude and did lift our spirits even though now they just plummeted right back down. But we'll recover. So
Will we? I mean, this is pretty much the worst case scenario.
you know what? This is how I'll start this conversation. Because right now, what time is it right now?
It is 12:30 in the morning.
It's 12:30 in the morning, Wednesday, October 11th. This is when we're recording this, and this is what I was thinking legitimately when I was on my way home. So I was at a show. Currently it's the Park Slope Comedy Festival, and we're doing a bunch of shows all across Park Slope, and I'm kind of writhing, and while I'm trying to continue, kind of producing these shows and helping these shows out and making sure they run smoothly. It's difficult to hide the fact that I'm miserable inside, because of what just took place. And the thing I was thinking about the most when I heard the whistle go. Was our conversation with Matt Doyle, and I was thinking of you, Alexis Guerreros.
Oh, don't you dare!
Because I'm not blaming you, but you did put this out there. You said,
Oh, yeah. No. So instead of blaming youth development, instead of blaming U.S. soccer, instead of blaming these players,
No.
you're blaming my suggestion that maybe some positive would come out of us missing the World Cup, which, guess what, is probably the best thing for us to hold on to now.
okay. So, but all I'm saying is that's what I was thinking about. I'm not blaming you for anything, but I was just, I was.
Well, let me start off by saying, how dare you? And let me tell you something. I thought about it too.
Yeah.
You know why I thought about it? Because I text Matt Doyle immediately after. And I put, this isn't good, is it?
Yeah.
And let me just tell you something. What he said, what he texted back is something that I don't think Matt Doyle wants out there. That's the tone in which he speaks. Look, this isn't, I don't have words. I always have words. Always. I do not have words. I was with AO Bronx and
yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's at least if maybe there's a human being that doesn't know what we're talking about yet because we haven't said it. The United States of America, the U.S. men's national team is not going to the World Cup because they lost their final game in the hexagonal round 2-1 to Trinidad and Tobago, a team that was eliminated from the World Cup. From
years ago at this point.
Yeah, they were. I forgot they were even in it. That's how long ago they were eliminated.
And not only that, but they also started like nobodies. They barely had. They had their B squad in there.
You're putting salt. You just stabbed me, and then you put salt. You put salt in that stab wound, right,
buddy.
now,
I'm gonna pull the knife out and dig it back in the exact same hole.
I didn't even know that. That doesn't make me feel any better, obviously. But holy shit!
I mean, it's not even that. It's even at losing, we could have still went to the World Cup, except Honduras had to beat Mexico, and Panama had to beat Costa Rica. And all
everybody
of those
who
things
needed
happened.
everything to happen, everything that needed to happen, happened. All the worst case scenarios happened, except for the U.S.
U.S. soccer right now is the Hillary Clinton campaign on the night of the election. We're just staring at the screens going, well, that can't be real.
Yeah. This is what's crazy is that, and I remember, November 8th, Trump's elected. Nobody can believe what the hell just happened. And the first thing I was thinking of was, holy crap, how the hell am I going to, for a second, I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do comedy? I have a show tonight. How am I supposed to do comedy when this happened? Just an absurd, like, I know what my job is. I know why people come to comedy shows, and there's a responsibility that I have to bring some joy. But what happens when the clown is sad?
Yeah. What do we do now?
What happens when he goes? Well, I am the great Pagliacci or whatever. It's that whole thing. It's so. And the first thing I thought was like, we're doing this podcast, and for some reason, for this particular moment, it was because we wanted to be talking about how exciting it'll be for U.S. making it to the World Cup. This is gonna be great. So what did I say to you earlier? I was like, you know what? Let's record. Let's wait till after the game to record a segment of the podcast. So we can just talk about how awesome it is that the U.S. in the World Cup, and we
remember I said it was going to be. It'll be a quick one. We'll just be like, "Hey, we did it, baby!"
Let's go pat ourselves on the back and go on with our lives.
American soccer saved once again, so everything's cool. I mean, what do we do when the clown is sad? What do we do when the clown is full blown depressed? What do we?
Yeah.
What do we do when the clown is damn near suicidal, like a lot of fans are right now? I mean, Omar Gonzalez. I walked into the Rambling House where AO Bronx watches the games, and I just started saying hi to people the moment Omar Gonzalez gave up the own goal or scored the own goal. And I was like, oh, man, maybe I'm the bad luck charm. Maybe I should go back into the car. And the events that unfolded, I mean, I will forever. I don't think I could go back into that establishment. That's how much all of this hurt.
The last time I was there, I won a FIFA tournament, and I was very happy.
Why are you even bringing that up? I am. I don't think I've been this disappointed in a soccer. I don't know, team, club, nation, system, anything. In my entire life.
This is brutal.
I'm thinking about all the children. Like, I started watching soccer sort of to the buildup of the World Cup, and when the World Cup was coming and everyone was talking about World Cup. World Cup is the reason why, so many kids were going to look at Christian Pulisic and be like, man, I want to be just like him. And they were going to go play. And it was just all of those things. MLS, what happens to MLS now? Do the numbers slide back? We get a bump after every World Cup. Is that going to happen? That might not happen. Sure. This might affect us.
This directly affects us.
Yeah.
This is crazy because they're obviously the U.S. in the World Cup puts everything that we do and all the content we make with just that focus on American soccer and its growth. And this is like a step back. I mean, look, it'd be weird to be mad. Just solely at at the USMNT national team players for what they did to us personally.
Oh no, I think that's fair.
But this is the thing is doing this podcast. This is a comedy podcast. We just happen to talk about soccer, right? So
it's really hard to separate that right now. It's really hard to get into the comedy part of this.
Exactly, and I know people listening to this right now are like, maybe the Cooligans will cheer me up. And we'll definitely hope we do that. But just know that we are suffering just like you. And this is so crazy to us. And look, listen to me right now. I sound like Alexis, 6 months ago, talking about we got to get all these old guys out of the team. How is Dempsey and his heart and all this other stuff? And that is how enraged this has gotten to me. This is surreal that what was it, 12 points in 10 matches? Like,
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's beyond embarrassing. So embarrassing. And also, I think there is a silver lining in all of this, which is that I was right.
Yeah, if we can find any solace.
If there's something to look up to in this time of dire need, it's that Alexis was right. Well, then, okay, look. I remember when I was studying business in school, they said crises will happen. It's how you react to them. Taylor Twellman already said this on ESPN, which is what I said to Matt Doyle on the phone, which is what I said on Twitter, which is what I said to you, which is if we look at what happens to national teams and national team systems when they have catastrophic failures, which I think you and I would both agree this is that. What happens? The best example of turning that around is what Germany did in 2000. And if we do not do even half of those things, then we are absolutely insane as a footballing nation, as a soccer playing nation. Then the people in charge do not care about what happens to us as a country. They care more about what this country produces for their pocket. That is the only result, the only assumption I can make. And I know you guys are waiting for a joke, and I don't know what that joke is. I don't know where to find the funny in this, except to say, okay, this has completely ripped us apart. This is some type of, our parents are getting divorced, okay? There's no other way to put this. But what happens now is what's important to me. We have a little less than 4 years because we need to qualify again. But we have an entire other cycle to get this right. Guess what? Clint Dempsey, right? I was worried about him with his heart. He's gone.
He's gone.
Michael Bradley, for the most part, Michael Bradley's probably done. Omar Gonzalez, he's not that old, but he's probably done. Matt Beasler, he's probably done. Graham Zusi, he's probably done. DeMarcus Beasley, he's starting in the next 8 World Cups.
He will, without a doubt, be there. Why would you? No, you got to keep some sort of World Cup experience.
Player coach, motherfucker might be player coach. The next one, because we ain't got nobody right now. Because Bruce ain't keeping this job. Everyone is gone. Tim Howard gone. Brad Guzan gone.
Yeah.
What do we got? Sean Johnson and the kid and that Jesse kid from FC Dallas.
And Tim Melia, another one who gets no love from.
Yeah, but
from
he
US
wasn't
soccer.
even starting last year in MLS. He was in the maybe not last year, but he was previously in that goalkeeper pool. Maybe he's having a great year. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's the future. Maybe he's our best forward. Okay, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Anything. Well, we're all ideas are welcome at this point.
Please, whoever has a suggestion, give it to us. All I know is that there's one person, maybe 2 or 3, that deserve to be, in the next 4 years. And to me, that's obviously Christian Pulisic right up at the top, Darlington Nagbe, if he's still of age, and Paul Arriola, who's really young. Other than that, I can't think of anyone else. DeAndre Yedlin is a beast and deserves to be in there. Everyone else. These players just aren't good enough. And I know, look, I did a bit more research after I spoke to Matt Doyle, and it turns out that in youth development, there's a gap in the early 90s. I believe it's 91 through 94, and then 95 produced like 1 or 2 good players, and then 96 again failed. So this is purging us of that sort of youth development failure. But if that's a sign to anybody, it's that we need to pay more attention to the youth development, because that's what's going to dictate success at this stage. You cannot build a soccer player after 21. Look, I'm in my 30s, and I'm fat, I'm not going to have abs, okay? I can work out as hard as I want. I'm not going to have abs. It's too late for me. The same thing goes.
I feel like there's options. Don't just say that.
For abs, I can be thinner, but I'm not going to have. Look, me and Cristiano Ronaldo are never going to have the same body unless he really lets himself go. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I can't meet him. He's got to come meet me. For U.S.
You got to compromise.
Yeah, look.
Cristiano, meet me halfway, or maybe meet me 3/4.
Or just. Or let me just chill right here until you get here, buddy. All I'm saying is that U.S. soccer has done this before, where they've continued to push along the same thing. Sunil Gulati said that, we shouldn't rip this whole thing apart because a ball 2 inches this way or that way changes everything. That scares me a bit, because I don't want these folks to lose money. I don't want these people to lose the firm grip they have on the U.S. soccer. They pumped a lot of money into it, and if they want to hold on to it as an investment, if they want to maintain it, if they don't want the same culture that's in Europe where it's splintered and they want to be able to maintain everything as a single entity, if that's what it takes, then fine. But you have to do what we have to do in youth development, because this cannot continue. This is ridiculous. We lost to Trinidad, and we played in a wheat field. Dude, the players' shoes were hiding in the grass as they took steps. That's how tall the grass was. That's not an excuse. We knew we practiced. We knew what we were up against. They didn't put down new grass.
There is I guess after the loss, you remember when, so the New York Giants haven't won a game in the NFL.
Do you have to remind me?
But they haven't. Somebody made a point that the New York Giants have not won a game since Odell Beckham Jr. took pictures on that boat in Florida or whatever before a playoff game, and everybody was very critical of him for that. And I honestly think, you know how Trinidad was frustrated that the U.S. was making fun of them, making fun of the training ground that the U.S. was training on, because there was heavy rain and there were pools of water, and they were carrying Christian Pulisic. He was piggybacking on somebody while they carried him onto the pitch, and
right. They put hashtag River to Russia instead of Road to Russia.
Dude, it's that you're not in the World Cup yet. There's a little bit of we're just gonna go here, get 3 points, and just head back home and just book our flights to Russia. They went in with
but we just beat Costa Rica 4-0. I mean, you wouldn't have confidence.
Panama, they beat Panama.
Sorry,
4-0.
we just Panama.
But they went in way too much arrogance. Always, those teams that are eliminated, they're not just like, all right, cool, we got you. You need to go where? Oh yeah, they're not your travel agent that's trying to book your trip to your vacation to Russia. So they clearly went in with just a little too much arrogance. Expected those 3 points, and just the lack of urgency is, especially after that, such a great win. And you heard the first segment. How excited were we that the U.S. was on their damn way to Russia? And
ridiculous. It's ridiculous to look back. I almost want to edit that out. I mean, it's people are going to be listening to that.
People are going to listen to the first segment and be like, "Yo, these guys sound like fucking fools."
Yeah,
after hearing
these guys
it.
are damn idiots. I honestly don't know. I don't know what happens from here. There's just a lot of question marks, Well, I'll leave it up to the fans. I'll leave it up to the fans to message us. How do you feel? I mean, you've probably posted on Twitter. Share with us how you feel. Tag us in whatever rant you go on. If you guys do a 40 tweet thread, tag us in one of them so we can follow it, because I don't know how to feel. I mean, besides upset, angry, disappointed, saddened. What are the 12 stages? I did them all already.
All right, yeah. Now I'm on to, I have a heroin addiction now.
Oh, my God.
What's going on,
Well,
man?
Extra Time Radio does the brown liquor episode. I text Matt. I'm like, you guys are going to need a little something stronger. Maybe a spoon over a flame,
This is brutal. Just
this is
brutal.
beyond brutal. And it's as two people who try to make comedic content about soccer, winning consistently isn't very funny. Right?
Sure.
Just constant success is not funny. This is way less funny, though. This is not bringing the joy we want to spread to the American soccer world. This is not the premise of the joke that we wanted. No, not at all.
We would have come up with so many jokes. World Cup, this and that. Like, I mean, it would have been great. U.S. and Russia. Putin is Trump this, and it would have been, we would have had it would have been a parade of jokes. It would have been so fun.
It would have been great. And remember, there was that small chance you and I went to Russia. That's gone.
That's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it was probably nil. It was down to the same percentage chance that Honduras had of making the World Cup.
What did the ESPN SPI thing? 93% chance for the U.S. to qualify to the World Cup.
And what did you say? That damn 7%.
I said that damn 7%. You never know. But it's so hard to explain. Just in the game itself, the only goal coming from Pulisic, not many, great chances. But once you give up that first goal, it's just Trinidad is going to be, there's not going to be much space to do anything, and there weren't that many amazing chances when Clint came in.
Dude, come on, you're just putting salt in the wounds.
Oh my God.
Why are we even talking about the game? What do you think? What do you think? Honestly, I almost didn't even go watch the game. I'm like, baby, we're good. Why don't we just go home and pack? You know what I mean? God damn it. What do you think needs to be done moving forward? Is this salvageable?
Well,
is this going to kill? How about this? Is this going to kill MLS?
I don't think it's going to kill MLS, but it definitely hurts MLS, right? What's interesting is the pro rel for USA hashtag seems a lot sweeter now, right? Now that possibility or that carrot that's there, now it seems like the pro rel sharks they smell blood, right?
Oh yeah, and there's chum in the water now.
There's chum in the water, and that's Sunil Gulati's arm right there. That they're willing. They just want to eat up. They just seeing all the sort of the suggestions for what needs to change. It's one of those. If this could be the thing that changes that instills that belief that changing the soccer pyramid in the U.S. So that something like this doesn't happen again, that's the thing that feels more appealing than ever now.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get to the point in the next few years where we're just going to be like, all right, well, let's start from scratch. There's collective bargaining agreements. There's all types of things. Yeah. If they decided tomorrow to institute, whatever it is, like, more open system as opposed to the closed system we have, whether that's full-blown promotion relegation or not, whatever it is that they decided to do, it would take years for that to go in. We'd be well into the next cycle. And I know we can't miss two. So come on, Qatar.
Well, there is now, like, this is the time when people are looking to blame people for this, and I love Jermaine Jones put out that tweet immediately, was just like, oh, y'all were talking shit about Jurgen. He literally said that. Like, everybody was talking shit about Jurgen, and it's like, so now y'all understand what was going on. And he was just mentioning how bad he felt for the team. But it's...
Yeah, he said, like, y'all crazy.
Yeah. But it just shows, like, Jurgen wasn't the problem. this U.S. soccer from the top down is fundamentally flawed. They, I think they're.
Here's the thing, and I just to piggyback, and I don't want you to lose your place what you're about to say, but fundamentally flawed. Every nation has something they do wrong. Every nation, when it comes to developing football players, can do one thing much better, 2 or 3 things much better. What I think you mean and what I mean when I say that there's issues is that we can look over at some of the countries that do it really well. I mean, England has promotion and relegation. They're not going anywhere in the World Cup. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not an easy fix, but we can look at places like Germany and go, what did they do? All right, we want to go do that. We can do those things. We don't need to blow everything up, but we can fix this. But it needs tough conversations need to be had. Maybe 2 comedians aren't the ones to do that.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
Yeah, this is what I was gonna finish my point with. That I think the Sunil Gulati, Don Garber, the systems that are in place for U.S. soccer, and the success, ever since the MLS has existed, the game has only grown. There's more teams. There's more money, more popularity. It's not to the level of Europe and a lot of other teams, but there are success stories, and the MLS is a successful product. If you are an investor and you want to get this is the game. This is essentially one of the fastest growing sport in the U.S. So people want to get in at the bottom floor to some extent because it's making money. So I think people can get lost in sort of what's going on in why change the system? It's like we're making it to the World Cup. There's millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every time at every World Cup cycle. There's only more money. It's like then you want to get your boys in. And it's like, yo, you got get me. It's like Bernie Madoff. Like, yo, get me. You got to get in this. We're making so much money, and it's just like there's something wrong. There's something doesn't smell right, and I think a little bit of the greed that came with all the money that was coming into U.S. soccer, that was not gonna allow anything to change, right? So look, but the decisions of a few people to keep the U.S. soccer system unique and MLS, franchise system and and constantly telling us like this, those kind of models won't work here. We need to do things the way we're doing them and all this other stuff. We're kind of seeing this blow up in their faces. Like, we were told this was the best way to do it. This is the way American sports fans consume sports. They like playoffs. We're not going to do it their way. We know what we're doing. We got it. We'll get it. Because for the most part, I don't really think from the top levels of U.S. soccer, they don't have the same ambitions that Germany has. They're not going into the World Cup saying, yo, let's win this. Let's actually try to win this. So when you say that, when you set that as a goal, say if you're Sunil Gulati, you set that as a goal and say, we want to win the World Cup. Now, what do we need to do at the absolute bottom level for a 6-year-old at a youth academy to progress to possibly get us there?
Right.
And I don't believe that. And I'm just saying Sunil Gulati, but at the top, they're genuinely focused on winning, as opposed to, we don't even need to win. We just need to get there because there's so much money to be made by just getting there. And you kind of can go with that, we probably won't win because everybody else is so good and all this other stuff. So you can keep the status quo. You don't really have to make any grand changes because you're still going to do all right and you're going to make a lot of people a lot of money. And for the most part, people are not going to be, if Sunil Gulati, so how long is Sunil Gulati going to be? There's no way he's I mean, if his resignation should be on the desk tomorrow, right? I mean, I'm not crazy for saying that.
No, you're not crazy, but I mean, you're crazy to expect it to happen. You're right for suggesting it should. You're crazy to think it will. He's already talking like, don't worry about it, baby. We got this,
Yeah.
A little hiccup over here and there. It's not that big of a deal.
We'll be fine. Yeah, the family business is going to be all right. I'll get right back up, baby. Don't you worry about it. I completely agree with you. I look at this and I say, there is no one answer to how to fix this. There is a multitude of questions that need answers. And a lot of them are going to be painful and uncomfortable, and they need to be asked. And as comedians, we can sit here and say, like, let's pick this apart. This should have been a funny thing. Like this segment right here, especially if you've listened to this whole podcast, boy, did you wait for this. I don't know how you got through those first two segments to get to this. Boy, I hope you did. But, hopefully now that you're here, we care. Because we're not even able to just sit here and just shit all over this. We're not trolls, man. That's not what we do. We're not sitting here going, no, the hilarious the U.S. got out of it. If you want that, go to different podcasts. That's not who we are. Do we want this to succeed? We want them to succeed. We want MLS to be the best league in the world, and we think it can be, which is why we care so much about it. We're season ticket holders. That's why we're putting our money where our mouths are and where our hearts are. And then shit like this happens, and we're like, what the fuck, dude? Just nuts. I mean, and then watching all the videos of all the players post game. Tim Howard, disappointed is an understatement, and Omar Gonzalez just close to tears. Watching stuff like that, it's just what's weird is that it's difficult. A lot of times teams will lose a game in any other sport. And for the most part, I'm I feel bad for that guy. There was just I remember when the Portland Timbers won 2 years ago, part of me was like, oh, cool that they won. But then I felt bad for Kai Kamara getting that far and losing. And there was just there's a little bit of, I feel it must be so tough. For the Atlanta Falcons, when they lost the Super Bowl, I'm like, that's so tough on them. I feel so bad that they lost that way and they were so close, things like that. But this is one of the first times where I'm like, I don't even fucking feel bad for the players. I'm just fuck these guys. I'm so angry.
Yeah, I'm so angry. I'm like, it's their fault. Why would I feel bad for them? It's their fault.
And maybe just it's what. It's one of those things where you realize how much soccer means to you. Where I'm not personally mad at Michael Bradley. I'm not personally mad at these, but it's just as a group collectively, it's just it brings out that much passion. Where I'm I don't care how sad you are. This is ridiculous. It's when a dog shits on the floor and you rub the dog's nose in the shit. Don't shit there. Don't do that, right? That's I mean, I don't have a dog, so I've never had a pet, so I don't know if that. I've heard people do that, but you probably shouldn't do that. Right?
You make him eat the shit. You know how it goes. You make him eat the shit. And then you eat the shit to show him you're the boss. I don't think that's how you do it, Christian.
But that's kind of how I'm you guys sit in the mess you made.
Yeah.
So you can learn to not be an example, because the majority of you are not going to be there. Be an example for the under 17s, right? Or under 18s that are at the World Cup right now in India. How devastated do they feel? And maybe this can be a motivation for them to try to win that trophy. But this is one of those things where it hurts and sit in it.
And it's going to keep hurting. That pain doesn't go away tomorrow.
Oh my God! And then come June and the World Cup is here, and it's oh yeah, your girl got a new man who's very wealthy and has a large dick, and it's whoa, okay, why do you have to tell me that part? But yeah, it's the truth.
I didn't think you were allowed to even put that on Instagram. Again, just like you said, and I'll continue to say, when it happened, I walked out of the Rambling House. I said goodbye to one person. And I just walked out, and I walked to the car by myself, and I'm wearing a USA jersey. And I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, I don't want anyone to even see me wearing this so that I have to deal with hey, man, that was, oh, geez. I don't want to deal with any of that. Yeah. I wanted to get home, record this part of the podcast and then be done. Because, and Dee, my wife, is like, I can't believe you're this upset about soccer. And I'm like, what? Have you met me before? Like, disappointment. Look, only one team is happy at the end of any season or the end of any tournament. Everyone else is upset. But there is something to be said for those small incremental, wins and those little mini, feelings of success and qualifying for the World Cup. Go Google Panama's, celebration after Roman Torres scored. Go look at that. I mean,
props to Roman Torres, man. That was huge.
He didn't score so much as he bodied a ball into a net.
He did that in one of the earlier World Cup qualifying matches. Or was that the gold? No, not the Gold Cup. No, that was another World Cup qualifying match where he got a late goal to kind of help them get to where they are now. And Roman Torres is a center back, and see a center back, and you saw where he was. He was one-on-one with the last defender, trying to get his team to the World Cup. And when you see that, you're like, what the fuck is the U.S. not doing? Well, how come Omar Gonzalez isn't that dude? How come there isn't that kind of...
Omar Gonzalez was also up against, also scoring, just so happened to be on our goal. Also, I mean, you look at someone like Roman Torres, you look at Honduras. They had, they had a mountain to climb, and they beat the best team in our group, Mexico, something we couldn't do. And Mexico, it's not Mexico's job to beat Honduras to get us in there. It's not Costa Rica's job to beat Panama to get us in there. It's none of their jobs. We won, we are in. That's how it worked out. And we didn't.
I don't know. I sense a conspiracy amongst all these teams.
And good for them if it was. Because if we would have done our job, their stupid conspiracy wouldn't have worked. We didn't do our job. And that's it. These players, as a group, the players in our system, the players that are above the age of 24 right now need to take a long, hard look at yourselves. Maybe there's nothing you can do. Maybe there's nothing that you are the player that you are and proud of all of you and thank you for that. But everyone under the age of 24 needs to
defect to Mexico.
Yes. That's apply for citizenship of Iceland. And Aaron Johansson right now must be like, what the fuck did I do?
How did I get involved with these people?
Oh man.
Can I watch this stink off of me, this US stink?
I mean, I'm sitting here and I still don't know. I don't know what's going to fix it. I don't know what's going to change it, but I will know one thing. The Cooligans will promise you that we will keep a very close eye, very critical eye on every detail of what's happening, whether it's changes to the youth development system. We're going to try to get some of the people on here that can help us fix it.
So we can yell at them.
Yell at them. We're going to get guys on here like Matt Doyle and other guys that are experts that can tell us what went wrong over the next few years. Look, we're not going away. We kind of wished this would have worked out so there would be a lot more of you that we would be talking to. I don't know what's going to happen, but look, if you love soccer, you're still going to watch the World Cup, right? If you love soccer, you're still going to watch MLS. If you love the World Cup and you love MLS, you're probably going to start listening to the Cooligans and at least watching us. I mean, I hope so. This is beyond catastrophic for not just us, for a lot of people, for a lot of things. And hopefully you guys continue to support over this sort of stretch of uncomfortable missing matches for the U.S. Because we're here to help, lighten your mood and make you feel better. And you listening and replying and engaging with us makes us feel better. We're comedians. We need hugs. We need attention. So the more you listen and the more you share with us your thoughts and your feelings help. We don't know. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the jokes. We're trying to get them. What I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to change, But we know whatever changes, we're going to be telling you about it, and we're going to be telling you whether we think it's a good or a bad idea or not enough. Or maybe too much. It might be too much change, you know?
But you know what? Sincerely, this feels, you know, whenever there is a tragedy, you know, when there's deaths and when just bad things happen, the normal kind of passing the buck, and that never feels genuine, is always sending thoughts and prayers, right? It's always an issue. But you know what? We need thoughts and prayers right now, baby. Because this would
send them.
Send them my way, because I could use a couple. This is any kind, whatever remedy, whatever holistic medicine is available to heal how the way I feel. Please send it over.
Right, light some sage. You know, burn a virgin, whatever it takes.
Burn a virgin. Yes, that is a classic home Aztec remedy.
Yeah, exactly.
That we all use.
So if you're keeping track, we were joking around that Messi might miss the World Cup. He's in there.
No, he's chilling there. He's having a good old time. Hat trick.
The old U.S. that beat
Ecuador.
Panama 4-0, not going.
My goodness.
Isn't it insane? Every time I think about it, it drives me wild.
Yeah, and watching those scores, the game was aired on BN Sports, and they're showing all the scores from the other games, and I'm just like, especially the Honduras Costa Rica. I was just like,
you mean Honduras Mexico?
Honduras Mexico. I'm like Honduras. I'm like so boldly like the Trinidad is up 1-0. I'm like talking to another comic, and I'm like, oh yeah, the U.S. is losing this game. It's crazy, but there's no way Honduras is beating Mexico and Panama are beating Costa Rica, and the games were tied till very, very late. The Panama-Costa Rica game was tied pretty late, so there was a chance that maybe it's still fourth place. But yeah, I was just like, there's no way this can happen. And boom, and yeah, it all happened exactly as it was not supposed to.
The absolute worst case scenario was exactly what happened.
Yeah.
This is Black Tuesday.
Yeah, here it is. A day that will live in a night that will live in infamy, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Just so bad for the state of American soccer. I mean, it's just why would the U.S. had the last time they hadn't qualified was '86, or that was the last. Yeah, that was the last time they missed the World Cup. So it was pretty consistent for such a long time.
Yeah, 1990, you know?
Boy.
We scored against Trinidad, and that's what sent us to the World Cup.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I don't know, man. That's it.
That's it.
How about, yeah. We can talk about this for a long time, but this is what it is. So, oh, boy. So, thank you for listening, everybody. Hopefully this made you feel better. I don't know. I mean, talking about it definitely helps, you know? Just being able to scream into a microphone a little bit is kind of nice.
Something like that.
Yeah, there is some sense of therapy with that. But, onward to 2022. I mean, that's what we got to start thinking about, and today is the day to start thinking about that. And it is not too soon. It is, when there's gun violence, what's the normal? Now is not the time to talk about these things. It's too emotional. No, this is it right now. This is exactly the time. The second the whistle blew, Sunil Gulati's phone should be going off like, yo, what are we doing tomorrow? That is it.
If they're not having a meeting either right now or on the books for tomorrow at 8 a.m., they're fucking up. This isn't something where they take the time to think about it. Consultants need to be hired. People need to go find whoever wrote the plan for Germany, which unfortunately was actually Jurgen Klinsmann. He was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
People did reach out to Jurgen. I know there was some journalists that reached out to him and asked him if he had any comments or any thoughts, and he said, of course I do, but I don't feel like now's the right time to talk about them.
Of course he has.
Yeah, look,
he can't say it because he's too busy laughing.
Yeah, he's like, I told you, motherfuckers.
Look at this.
I told you.
Told you so. Oh, it was my fault.
He became Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
I told you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. Hit me.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, look, we'll have more time to talk about this next week, and we'll see. Maybe we can get somebody that can help us cope with this stuff, and maybe it's a little bit more experienced, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just move on with our lives and focus on the MLS playoffs are coming up soon. We know.
Yeah, maybe this becomes a podcast about boxing. Who knows?
Yeah, who will Mayweather fight next? And we'll. I mean, we're talking about in court. So,
exactly.
So. I mean, look, there are positives, and the MLS doesn't take a break every 4 years, so we will be able to talk about that, and the hope is that maybe there won't be new fans that are interested in MLS, but hopefully the ones that are currently fans can I genuinely think that even though the U.S. is not in the World Cup, the World Cup is still a spectacle, and it is incredibly popular, and lots of people are going to watch it from the U.S. So we
need to pick teams.
We got a big team. I'm a Colombian man right now. ¿Y qué pasa? ¿Qué pues? I'm Colombian. That's
Fine,
it.
and now you know what? I got to go with Uruguay.
Of course, yeah.
Boludo. ¿Qué quieres? Mira.
That's our affiliations now.
This is who we are now.
This is who we are now. We're a Colombian and Uruguayan man.
That's it. That's it.
So that's it. Let's end this, and well,
there's nothing else to say.
Godspeed, everybody. We'll get through this.
And if you hated this group of this selection for the men's national team, they're pretty much all gone now. So at least there's that.
You had any issue with their player rating or their poor performance? They are you can throw them in the recycle bin. They are done.
We have exercised the demons.
And how. Maybe slightly. I mean, it's obviously very disappointing. The U.S. is not in the World Cup, but to add insult to injury, Clint Dempsey did not break Landon Donovan's record, and will never do that of goal scoring for the U.S. men's national team, unless for some reason he is in 2 years from now in a World Cup qualifier, which I don't think is going to happen.
I highly doubt that's going to happen.
But Clint Dempsey. What is that? 58, 59 goals, I believe. Tied with Landon Donovan. And it looks like that record is probably waiting to be broken by Christian Pulisic. And it'll be a couple of years. But he'll probably do that fairly quickly. But Clint Dempsey did not get the opportunity to do that. He tried. He tried his best against Trinidad. But it didn't happen. So,
What else is there to say?
A lot of sad things. Yeah, a lot of terrible, sad takeaways. All right, everybody.
It's been a tough one today.
That should be the title of the episode.
What a roller coaster this has been. Thank you for listening to that first segment, and as angry as it made you to hear our positivity, glad you stuck through it and lasted till this. Guys, we will talk to you next week. My name is Alexis Guerreros.
My name is Christian Polanco.
And together, but very sad, what are we?
The
Cooligans. Goodbye, guys.